Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to talk about a very contentious topic right now, which is obviously with all the new content coming into the game, the amount of resources invested. I actually strongly believe that the game gets easier as you get to the end game. It's easier to hoard resources. It's easier to really manage what you're using. And this really all sparked, guys, as you can see on screen here, it really sparked from folks commenting and as well as discussing and me just having conversations about my resource management, how I've been able to build the gold supply that I have, the power cores, and honestly crush most of these events free to play because you don't typically need to spend a lot of resources, more so just understanding the dynamics of the events, right? So that's why I want to talk about today, guys. I do strongly believe that if you're a newer player or if you're in the mid game trying to get to the end game, there's definitely a lot more work to be had for you. When you're in the end game like myself, you are almost kind of in this standstill stage of just refining some of the teams that you choose to work on, choosing to prioritize certain game modes that you care about. And then finally, you get to use your resources how you want because you actually, are able to save up like the way I have, right? For example, I've been crushing Arena right now, top 5 now for the last week or so. And every day I've just been raking in, it could be 450 or it could be up to 300. It could be 300 power cores per day. That's how I've been able to build the supply that I have. But again, it doesn't take much because at this point, there's only so many characters that you can upgrade all the way to the max. And that's the competition right now, especially if Gear Tier 19 is going to be the highest level or maybe you're gated by the stars or red stars. But regardless, I'm at that point where I'm in very, very comfortable position to not have to use my resources. And at the same time, I can focus on new content that's coming into the game, especially if it's new characters or teams. Conversely, if you're a newer player and, transition in mid-game, you're just probably going through your entire list of characters, all these different meta teams to go through, and you're like thinking, which ones I have to build up. But having said that, to get to where I've been, I also have skipped a lot of teams, or I've only built up the minimums to what they need, right? And I'll link it below, guys, in case you're interested. But there's really only 10 teams in the game that you need access to actually unlock the majority of the content. And sorry, I'm just navigating to my raids here so that way I can show you where my loadout screen is. And honestly speaking, from my past videos, there's only about 10 or 11 teams that you need that can get you the majority of the content in the game. And at the same time, more than half these teams aren't built up to the max. The ones I'm referring to are the raid teams, right? You have Bifrost and Pegasus that are already on the way out. Extreme, Hivemind, and Spire Society, very, very valuable because they're good in all game modes right now. But that's what I mean. You don't need them at Gear Tier 18 or Gear Tier 19. Even getting them to 16 and 17 is going to get the job done. You have Secret Defenders, a top arena team up until the point that you need to go up against other Apocalypses and Super Scrolls. We have Tangle Web, that's a really solid team. Oh, sorry, a little hit there. We have all-rounder teams that are just good all across the board or meta, right? Superior Sinister 6 rework, Out of Time is a top tier right now for War. Mercs for Money just came out, and that's kind of the team that I'm keeping an eye on, but to be honest, I'm still focused on my Spire Society because of the Spotlight raids and needing to push higher on that. So, but that's what I mean. I'm able to refine now and focus in on really the current metas and getting those characters up as high as I want them to be, and at the same time, being mindful that resources I can control. Like for example, you're going through the daily golden opportunity milestone. You don't have to spend more than 6 million gold per day, and that's helped me, especially to kind of budget and control my resources, and that's how I've been able to build this, right? If you're earning, for example, 300 to 400 cores per day, but you're only spending 50, of course your balance is going to go up, right? And that's kind of the gist I'm getting at here, guys. Conversely, for folks that are newer or mid game, you have a million things to build, and you're not really able to leverage the value that us as longer term players have already kind of previously invested in. For instance, if I scroll all the way to the very top, characters like Kestrel, Kang, Spider Weaver, Gambit, Black Cat, Morgan Le Fay, Omega Red, Shang-Chi, Nova, Ghost Spider, Big Time. They've already been built up in my account for quite some time. This isn't new for me. I didn't build them up yesterday. I didn't invest in these characters yesterday, and I'm able to leverage that now And this is how powerful it is, guys. When you build up these characters all the way to the max, obviously they're not maxed out on screen, but you know what I mean, like not level 90, level 95 plus or whatever to gear tier 18. Well, they're going to be usable in a lot of the content. That includes, especially if you're watching this and you have not unlocked the Legendary Horseman, and you haven't unlocked Apocalypse or Super Scroll through Dark Dimension 6, well, these characters are only going to keep on providing you value going forward, right? Whether there's not, there's a new game mode in Dark Dimension, more than half these characters on this screen right now are probably coming into Dark Dimension with me. So you're building on that previous investment, that gold, so it's never truly wasted, especially if it's like an original strike character, and especially with Kestro being required in multiple facets of the game, including raids, as well as Dark Dimension now being that mythic trait, that unique skill tech dual trait, which makes it super valuable going forward in the future, and one of the best characters to utilize the shield tech. So my point is this, guys. At the end of the day, I do think it's very, very easy, actually, once you're in the end game, to control what you're doing in terms of resources. It's easier to refine the type of characters and teams you want to see. And I think that's the big thing that we always forget as players, is that it's definitely overwhelming, and it can seem like there's so much to do in the game. But that's because in the mid game, everything is kind of important, all the resources and so forth. Honestly, right now, I focus on Arena, which I'm crushing. I focus on the raids that we're doing. I focus on doing my war attacks because that's what my alliance needs. Crucible is probably the one that takes a hit, and that's why I have been working on it slowly. But at the end of the day, I'm missing potential diamond fragments for that. Is that stopping me from becoming, like I said, top 5 in Arena? Stopping me from, doing well in my my incursion raids? It's not. So that's my 2 cents, guys. If you're able to get to the end game, especially building in those like top 10 teams, getting to the end game content, you are at the end of the day going to be spending less time in the game, and you're going to have that opportunity, like myself, to start kind of amassing resources pretty heavily. Because the one thing we don't talk about when you're hoarding resources is how prepared you are for the future. For example, one thing that I have definitely been doing is that since the reworked raid store, every time I get a chance now, I go through and I take a look at all the uniques that I have that are, let's say for instance, less than 200 pieces. I'm just gonna start buying them already, because this is the cheapest it's ever been. And if there's an opportunity to kind of save this up for the future, it doesn't have to be now, right? It can be for future characters. This is the opportunity to do so, guys. We've never seen resources this cheap. And we're getting so many raid credits per day from the incursion and spotter raids every day that it's just so easy now. Same with Crucible credits. I'm not really using them, so whatever future character gets added into here, guess what? I got 185,000 of it to spend, because all these characters here are maxed out. So when you're in the end game like this, you can start planning for value in the future, kind of what I'm showing right now, because you're essentially using these resources that aren't that helpful right now currently. And for a future character addition in farmability, you're going to be taking advantage of it. Yeah, a great example is actually Blitz Orbs, because Gwenum just got released here, but I already got maxed out at 7 stars, and now I'm just going to keep on saving these Blitz Orbs. I'm going to keep on saving these Raid Orbs. They also confirm that this Spotlight Raid Orbs to the right here is going to get replaced with a character in the future, and you can get to keep the same Raid Orb that will open up for those characters. So obviously, if you maxed out Void Knot already, stop opening them. Just wait. Next character that comes in, boom, boom, boom. And it snowballs, guys. That's why, that's actually a large reason why I don't open a lot of these raid resources, because I don't need to. And if they're going to refine this and change it in the future, great. I'm only going to get more future value. Same thing with war credits here. You can see I've built up over 185,000 of these war credits. Same with these elite war credits. And you bet the moment they add some sort of crimson gear orb here for the war, I'm going to take advantage of it. But in the meantime, I'm not using it because I simply just don't need it. Even with the ISO 8s here, this is a good example, because I feel like we have so much blue now in the game that I just buy all of this every single day. And I'm trying to deplete my balance that never depletes, and that's how you can start preparing really for the future. The green is not so much, but if you're upgrading a lot of characters, that's the thing, right? You won't probably have the same resource levels to me. just because you're trying to build up everything. And then same goes for the ultimates. If you have those excess credits, always check the store. If there's new character shards that you don't have access to that are farmable, Cosmic Rider, Ghost Rider is a great example. You know, he's not farmable yet in the game. I'm buying it every time there's a new character. That's at least some way to take advantage of the resources you're not using, building for the future, so you are actually spending less in the future as well. Anyways, just my 2 cents, guys, as an endgame player, how I've been able to really maximize my resources, especially being free to play. I don't need to be going through and, you know, buying the battle passes and strike passes, because to be quite honest, I don't need to. You know, I'm having fun playing the way that I play, and resource management is the name of the game. So hopefully this is able to share some insight here, guys, and how I manage my account end game and how much easier it does get later on. So, you know, hang tight, keep on trucking through, and when you get there, guys, you're gonna see what I'm saying, which is you're able to refine and really hold on to the resources much better than how you're currently, especially if you're in the mid game. Hope this helps you guys out. Let me know anything in the comments below. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.